afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Elliott Ballfield here in Brookline, Massachusetts for the 27th annual Nathan Pups Showstack BYB All-Star Game. This is an ASPNHD production. My name is Mason Stelf. This sharp-dressed man to my left is Jesse Mayfield Sheehan. Jesse, it's a beautiful day for some baseball. We just finished up the Home Run Derby a few minutes ago, and now we get ready for the All-Star Game. It's all about fun. It's competitive, but these guys are ready to hit it.
Mason, we've got all the stars here for this one. Hey, maybe that's where they came up with the name. But all bad jokes aside, this is the best of what we got here in Brookline Youth Baseball. So, we're going to see some high-level Little League play here, a lot of intense competition, but overall, a lot of fun. It's a beautiful day for baseball. I can't wait.
Well, nobody cares about us. What you care about are the players, and we'll meet them in just a moment. We welcome you back to Elliott Ballfield. We're about to meet the teams for this year's Major A BYB All-Star Game. Before we do that, we have the annual Sportsmanship Award, and for that, I turn it over to the Major A Commissioner, Holden Hodgson.
Thanks, Mason. Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining us. One of the special moments I get to do each year before or in between playing our Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game is to take a moment to acknowledge a special player that's part of Brookline's baseball community that may get overlooked on the field sometimes, but whose presence is material to what we're doing as a league. There's a man long ago named Herb Silverman in town who lived 100 years ago, and he ended up being a resident of Brookline. He was a student athlete first, and then he was a coach and a lifelong participant until he passed away. He was a great figure, as we've come to know, and he and his family over time have made sure that we continue to honor him and honor what he stood for. He believed that baseball teaches us a lot about how to have fun and learn skills, but also how to become better people and better sports and better players in the game of life. So it's very, very important that each year we nominate, and this is a coach-nominated award from each of the 6 teams, and select who we think is deserving of such an award as the Sportsman of the Year in Brookline. The past award winners are many, and they all deserved it, and they're all great, and they've gone on to big things, and it certainly is a pleasure of mine. So what I want to do is I just want to take a quick moment to announce this year's award winner. And everyone was deserving from all 6 teams, but only one can win. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to have Coach Summers of the Athletics come join me here, and I want us all to warmly welcome Alden Johnson of the Athletics up here as this year's Herb Silverman Sportsman Award winner. Let's hear it for Alden. Yeah, I want you guys to look here. All right. Congratulations. Here you go, Ben.
All right, I'm going to try to do this so both YouTube and people around here, including parents, can hear me. When we got asked for the nominations for this award, all 4 coaches immediately said, that's got to be Alden. And the story here is not only is Alden just a great teammate and a great kid, this year in particular, he had to overcome that he hurt his hand doing some woodworking and was going to have to miss several games. And I didn't expect it, but the first game after his injury, guess who showed up to watch and cheer on his teammates? And he kept coming. Even though he couldn't play, he was there. He was leading our cheers. He was cheering for his teammates. He was a part of the team every play. And when his hand got better, he came back on the field. He had a huge game. He had doubles to right. He had big plays in the field. And you could just see how happy our team was for him, because that's the kind of guy he is. And I'll add, when I broke my hand last week and ended up with a very similar Alden Johnson glove on my hand, every time I see him, Alden asks me, how's your hand, coach? Are you feeling all right? That's the kind of kid he is. It's great to have him on our team. I think all of us are just really delighted that he's winning this award. And so, big round of applause. Alden, congratulations.
Awesome job, buddy. Well deserved. We'll give these guys a high five on the way back. Thank you. Thank you, Coach. And now we're moments away from our All-Star Game. Let's get the energy up. Here you go, Mason.
Thank you very much, Holden. And now let's meet the All-Stars for each side. We'll start with the National League to my left.
My name is Tyler. I'm from Hayes School. I'm 12U and I play for the Cubs.
My name is Nano Makosko. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Mets.
My name is Erin Miyazawa. I'm 11 years old. I used to play Giants.
Hi, my name is Mason Savage. I'm 11 years old, and I play for the Chicago Cubs.
Hi, my name is Evan Shapiro. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Cubs.
Hi, my name is Gabriel Jaffe. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Cubs.
Hi, my name is Ko Higashira. I'm 12 years old and I play for Giants.
Hi, my name is Alec McPherson. I'm 10 years old and I play for the Mets.
Hi, my name is Miles Bell. I'm 11 and I play for the Giants.
Hello, my name is Myers Surnamer. I play for the Mets and I'm 12 years old.
Hello, my name is Soren Loken. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Giants.
Hi, my name is Rafi Ortega. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Red Sox.
Eric Surnamer, head coach of the Mets.
Adam Doctroff, head coach of the Giants.
Aaron Jaffe, head coach of the Cubs.
And now our All-Stars from the American League.
My name is Dawson Ziegler. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Orioles.
My name's Oshin Dean. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Red Sox.
Hi, my name is Peter Thorne. I'm 11 years old. I play on the Athletics and they call me Tankerbell.
Hi, my name is Ciaran Regan. I play for the Mets. Play for the Orioles, and I'm 12 years old.
My name's Ernest Kanegi. I'm 12 and I play for the Sox. Hi, my name's John Martin. I'm 11. Go A's.
My name is Navi Sarabi. I'm 12 years old. I'm on the Orioles.
My name is Tom Rothschild. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Red Sox.
My name's Jonah Wachterman. I'm 11 years old and I play for the Oakland A's.
My name's Jane Lau. I'm 12 years old and I play for the Orioles.
My name's Alexander Vitilo. I'm 11 years old and I play for the Red Sox.
Hello, my name is Junsu Park and I play for the A's and I'm 11.
Adam Martin, assistant coach, A's.
Navi Sarabi, age unknown, Orioles.
My name's Adam Rothschild, and I'm a coach for the Red Sox.
Jonathan Lau, assistant coach for the Orioles.
I'm Ben Summers, and I coach the A's.
There are your lineups for the National League and American League for the 27th annual Nathan Pups Showstack Major A BYB All-Star Game. We'll now pause for the national anthem, and then we'll get this All-Star Game underway.
Let's have a good game.
Just about set to get this Major A BYB All-Star Game underway, as the National League will be the designated road team and we'll bat first. Mason Stout, Jesse Mayfield Sheehan, as we are underway. First pitch delivered from the AL's Peter Thorne of the A's.
And the leadoff hitter for the National League, Tyler New, a 12-year-old who's played 3 years in the majors and has made 2 major All-Star appearances. He's currently playing for the Cubs this year.
Have 12-man batting orders in this All-Star Game, but we play this just like any normal game. Everybody's going to play, everybody's going to hit. We'll move around the outfield. We'll give you all the defensive alignments as they will change repeatedly, but we start with a leadoff walk to Tyler New.
Yeah, always a little tough at this level, getting your stuff under control when you're first starting as a pitcher. You know, but there will be time for Peter Thorne to settle in for the American League. And right there on clockwork, a strike.
Peter Thorne delivering to Oshin Dean behind the plate, with Ernest Kanegi, Ciaran Regan, Jonah Wachterman, left to right in the outfield in this first inning. Jaden Lau.
This one's in play.
And nice play by the catcher, Dean. Just called his name and plays that one well in fair territory to retire
Nano
Makosko, and Nano's out for the first out.
Yeah, and that was, it's the kind of play you take for granted at the higher levels, but that's a hard catch to make with a catcher's glove when it's going straight up to track like that and all that equipment. Great play by Ciaran Dean.
1 out, 1 on. Top of the first for Haruya Miyazawa of the Giants.
Miyazawa, 11 years old, has played 2 years in the majors, had 1 All-Star appearance. Plays pitcher, catcher, and shortstop.
Finish the defensive alignment. We mentioned Jaden Lau is at the hot corner with Navid Sarabi at short, John Martin at second, Tom Rothschild of the Red Sox hold down the fort at first base as this one will tail foul. And Aru with a nice swing. We saw him lay a number of tremendous swings on it during the home run derby. We only saw 1 home run courtesy of Jaden Lau, but Aru was very close to hitting a bunch of them.
Yeah, this is the thing. We talked about it during the home run derby about how sometimes when you've got those meatballs coming over and you're only thinking about home runs, sometimes it just throws you off, and sometimes you get good contact in this.
Grounded into the hole at second. Only 1 play. It's second to first, and Martin over to Rothschild. That moves New up to second with his leadoff walk. Now in scoring position for Mason Savage of the Cubs as 4, 5, and 6 in this National League order, all hailing from the Cubs.
And Savage, an 11-year-old on the younger side. He's got 1 year in the majors, 1 All-Star appearance. Favorite highlight of the season was hitting his first home run on June 1st against the Giants, then hitting his second home run for the season on June 4th against the Athletics.
As teammates Gabriel Jaffe and Evan Shapiro on deck and in the hole. So plenty of Cubs represented, and also has Aaron Jaffe down the line as the third base coach in this inning of the Cubs. Aaron loves spending time with his family and listed about 18 highlights when we asked him for his highlight of the season because he tried to pick one for every single kid on the team. Nice play behind the plate by Dean on the pitch out of the zone from the hurler Thorne.
Yeah, Dean being tested early. Good snag from the backstop there to prevent the runner from advancing.
This will be the only inning that Asheen catches. As everybody moves around, there'll be a couple innings where you'll see the same catcher twice, but Asheen gets the first inning. We'll see John Martin behind the plate in the second. Another walk as Savage heads down the line to first. And now New off of second, Jaffe off of first. 2 Cubs on the base paths with another one at the dish. Called strike in the outside corner.
And it's Gabriel Jaffe, the new Cub at the plate, a 12-year-old, 3 years in the majors, 2 All-Star appearances. Plays pitcher, third, second, short, and outfield. So that's everywhere except catcher and first. But he says his favorite position is pitching.
And his highlight was watching the guy down at first base right now, Mason Savage, hitting his first career homer. Well, right now he's trying to hit something into the gap that could potentially score Savage and New in front of him. The pitch is up.
And Jaffe, he says his hobbies when not playing baseball include watching baseball, playing basketball, and hanging out with his friends.
Sounds like the life. Nice pitch. Fastball in there for a strike.
Yeah, I do envy these kids having the time and energy to play all these different sports. I don't envy them the homework they have to do when they get home from school.
You know what, though? I would take homework over work any day. As called strike 3. And despite the 2 walks, Peter Thorne doesn't give up any runs in the top of the first. We will stay here between half innings. We will take breaks in between the full innings. So on to the bottom of the first. Nice play by Thorne to get out of that little jam, inducing soft contact. It seems like year after year, Jesse, no matter what the lineups have, it's always a great all-star game. And you might see teams jump out to early leads. It always seems like it comes down to the bottom of the 6th or even extra innings to actually decide who's going to win it at the end.
Yeah, no, they do such a good job here at Brookline Youth Baseball of keeping, you know, the competition level so well balanced between these different teams so that you get stuff like really close all-star games, really close championship games. You know, we only get to cover a piece of these here on ASPNHD, but the games we get to cover, they're always such a treat.
So scoreless top of the 1st. National League gets their job done. Now the National League takes the field for the first time with Tyler New, who led off that top of the 1st with a walk, ended up being stranded at second base. He will start on the mound, dealing to Haruya Miyazawa behind the plate. Left to right in the outfield, Alex McPherson of the Mets, Evan Shapiro, who will lead off the top of the 2nd of the Cubs in center, and Meyer Surnamer of the Mets in right. Gabriel Jaffe at 3rd, Miles Vo at short, Nano Makasco of the Mets at second base, and Ko Higasahara of the Giants at 1st. Remember, there's 12-man teams, so 3 players will not play the field each half inning, and then they'll cycle in and out as we go, and we'll give you the defensive alignments in each inning so you know who's where. And leading off, it's Dawson Ziegler of the Orioles.
Ziegler, a 12-year-old, and his name is pronounced as written, which I think was very helpful guidance there.
So as written, gets ready to take the first pitch and delivers a shot to center. This one's dangerous. Will bounce up against the wall and a hop. Here comes Ziegler to second, slides in with a double. And that is how the AL gets things started.
Wow, how about that? Our first ball leaving the infield, and what a missile straightaway center from Dawson Ziegler. That one might have escaped the yard if he had sent it anywhere but straightaway center, and that could have potentially gone for even more if Evan Shapiro wasn't covering so well in center.
There's nothing he could do to track that one down as that one bounced in and well blocked by Miyazawa behind the plate. Asheen Dian making his 3rd All-Star appearance in his many major seasons. And he delivers that one through the hole between 3rd and short, and this will score a run as it escapes the grasp of McPherson. Dian will stop at 2nd. Not sure if we would score that a single and an error, but either way, he's on 2nd with a ribby. It's an all-star game, so we're going to give no errors. So that's going to be an RBI double. Ziegler scores, and the AL on top in 2 batters.
Yeah, it's a Little League. You know, those plays aren't as routine at this level. Smaller hands, smaller gloves, shorter legs. It's a bit harder to get to the ball. So I think we can give a double there to Asheen Dian. If this was the high school level, I would definitely give a single and a 1-base error and might not even give an RBI.
And now Thorne swings at the first pitch, but that is well read by Shapiro. But the AL coming up swinging early in these counts and putting really strong aluminum on the ball. First out, though, as Thorne is retired, but he did his job getting out of the pitching jam in the top of the 1st, and now his team leads it 1-0.
Yeah, it's so tough. You want your pitchers to throw strikes, but sometimes this happens.
Regan, that's a fair ball. Well played by McPherson, but it will score another run. 3 doubles in the first 4 hitters for the AL as Ciaran Regan ropes one to left, and that was fair by a good 2 feet.
And you know what's
2
crazy?
in already.
You know what's crazy, Mason? Top half of the 1st, the National League didn't put a single ball into the outfield. In the bottom half of the 1st, every single AL hitter has gotten into the outfield.
And they're all swinging right on these early pitches. You can't say that Tyler New's not throwing strikes. The problem is there's strikes that can be hit hard. As in steps Ernest Carnegie.
Carnegie, a 12-year-old, 2 years in the majors, 1 all-star appearance. His hobbies when he's not playing baseball, music, origami, and other sports.
And he hits one hard as well, and that's going to be another double. That's well read, though. Got a slide, and he is safe. RBI double as that one escaped the glove of the second baseman. Nano Makasco couldn't handle it. I think he would have been safe anyway. Actually, that was Miles Vo who was there on the relay. But 4 doubles for the American League and a 3-0 lead as Carnegie didn't hit that one in the air, but got that one through.
Yeah, maybe not as much air as some of the other missiles we've seen, but still had enough zip on it to get through the infield and right into the gap between center and right. And Carnegie hustling down the baseline and sliding hard to make sure he landed safe.
That one hit softly towards short. Vo ranging back puts it away for the second out as John Martin is retired. But
yeah.
Jesse, you and I, we saw the home run derby no less than an hour ago. There have been more hard hit balls in this first inning when there's live pitching on the mound than we saw in the home run derby. And I don't think it's a coincidence. And that's because you're getting good pitches to hit. You're not really thinking about hitting them out. And it's just working for this AL team.
Well, also, you think about it, a lot of these great hits we're seeing in this first inning, those would just be outs in the home run derby. And that's what can be so tough about that home run derby. You make good contact that you would want to make in a game, but all it is an out.
Nubbed, and that is a foul ball, barely. There were about 3 different things that could have happened to turn that ball fair. Had it been touched by Jaffe, it looked like it might spin back toward the bag. Jaffe missed it, and it somehow found its way to the left side of that third base bag. And did Jaffe catch that one off the hand? If he did, that would have been a fair ball, but he's being summoned.
Go to third base.
And it looks like he will be potentially replaced over at third base.
Candace is getting you a tissue.
His nose is bleeding. That's why. If you're bleeding, you have to come out of the game.
Not sure what caused that, but you know.
You know, it's hot and it's dry.
It
Sometimes
certainly
nasal.
is.
Some people just have nasal passages that get dry and
I
then
am
blood
one of
starts
those
coming.
people, so I can't say that that's something that hasn't happened. But Jaffe is replaced over at third by his fellow Cub. 3 runs already in. The American League, as that one will bounce past and allow the runner to advance 60 feet. The American League with 4 hits, all of them doubles, and it's led to 3 runs by Ziegler, Dean, and Regan. And Carnegie over at third after the wild pitch trying to score himself. But he won't be able to as Sarabi down on strikes. But after a strong first inning pitching-wise by the American League, they respond with 3 runs on 4 hits in the bottom of the first. We take a break here on ASPNHD to the top of the second in this Brookline Youth Baseball Major A All-Star Game. It's the AL 3 and the NL nothing. The American League leading it 3-0 after 1 inning of play and trying to get back to their dugout quickly as they turn things over to Ciaran Regan, who was one of the players who was heavily involved in that bottom of the first, doubled and scored. One of 4 doubles in the inning for the AL, and now he's on the bump, pitching to John Martin with Junsu Park, Dawson Ziegler, and Tom Rothschild in the outfield left to right. Peter Thorne, Asheen Dean, Alex Vitullo, and Naveed Sarabi around the infield. First up for the National League, Evan Shapiro, the third of the 3 Cubs in a row, and he nubs this one to Dean, who gloves it for a quick first down.
Man, whether he's behind the plate or at short, Asheen Dean just seems to be a magnet for the balls hit by the National League so far.
He's not big in stature, but he has been around this league now for 3 years and has been a Major League All-Star in all of them.
Yeah, his literal figure doesn't stand as tall, but his figurative figure is looms quite large.
Now, Ko Higasihara.
Higashihara?
Yep, Higashihara. Ko prefers to play first base whenever he can. Takes that one and will bounce this one into center. Played there on a hop by Ziegler, and the National League in business. They did get runners on first and second in their first inning, but stranded them there. That is their first hit, as both first inning base runners reached via the base on balls. And now Alex McPherson digs in.
McPherson, definitely one of the younger ones, 10 years old, 1 year in the majors, 1 All-Star appearance. likes to play short the best, but also plays first and pitcher. Looks relatively on the taller side given how much younger he is.
He's got the height. He's got the length, though, too. And that's what will happen is that one escapes the glove of Martin and will allow Higashihara to move up 60 feet. As you get from that 10 to 11 to 12-year-old age bracket, you start to grow into that body a little bit. Right now, he's got the height, but I'm pretty sure I weigh about 4 of him.
McPherson says his favorite highlight of the season is when he pitched to close out a tight game against the mighty Giants team.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Giants on this roster. Miyazawa hitting third. Higashihara over at second base right now. McPherson unable to advance him. Second strikeout by American League pitching. And now Miles Vo of those Giants, one of 4 Giants out of the 12. He said that was not a foul ball. I thought I heard maybe a nick. And sure enough,
say
yep,
yes.
there it is.
Or no. What are they saying? Oh my gosh.
You could see Higashihara thought it was a foul ball. That's why he started to head back towards second base. Alert play by Ciaran Regan to throw over to Peter Thorne at third, but Higashihara was able to evade the tag. And you see the home plate umpire saying, I never said it was a foul ball. He didn't. That's true. And nothing I say matters, so.
Yeah, maybe the nick was the sound of the catcher's glove rather than the bat.
Either way, Miles Vo of the Giants, second year in the majors.
He's 1 year older than McPherson. And yet you look at the height difference, that's just people grow different.
Tiny
you
but
never
mighty,
know.
Potentially. Oof, gets a low strike called against him. Part of Build Tough Boston for his club baseball team. You'll see a lot of Brookline Bandits between the two rosters. Vo is not one of them.
Loves to play that middle infield, though. Shortstop and second base. His favorite is shortstop. He's been tested a couple of times at that position already today.
Swings and misses, and the American League, for the second straight inning, gets a little bit of bother against them, but is able to work out of that trouble without surrendering a run, and that's exactly what you want if you're Ciaran Regan. Your offense gives you 3 runs of padding. You put a 0 up on the scoreboard and get the offense a chance to extend that lead in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, and Mason, that's now 2 runners stranded in scoring position, 3 stranded runners total for the National League. So they're getting guys on base, but they're just not able to follow it up so far.
And that's always, I find, of the many things that are so difficult at this age level, it's pitching with runners on base. When that pressure ramps up, you oftentimes see these young hurlers, they start to get a little bit wild. They're overly focused on the runners on the base paths and not on throwing strikes. Credit to these AL pitchers. Both innings where they have these runners in scoring position, they get a strikeout to end the first and back-to-back Ks in the second to get the National League out scoreless. Tom Rothschild, Jonah Wachterman, and Jaden Lau, 8 through 10 in the American League order due up against the National League is Higashihara. Cohen to pitch, dealing with a full Giant battery at the moment. Higashihara and Miyazawa behind the plate, with Soren Loken out in left field, Nano Makasko now in center, Rafael Ortega in right, and then left to right around the infield. Jaffe of the Cubs, his fellow Cub Tyler New at short, Alex McPherson at second, and 3 of the 4 Cubs on the infield as Mason Savage rounds out that infield 4. But all royal blue around the infield with the Cubs and Mets. In fact, there is a lot of blue out there right now with just the 1 Giant in left and then the battery of Giants on the mound and behind the plate.
Kind of matches your shirt and tie here today, Mason.
Thank you. So it's Wachterman to lead off.
It's Rothschild.
Then Wachterman, excuse me.
Yeah, getting a little ahead of yourself there. He's 12 years old, 2 years in the majors. This is his first All-Star appearance.
And he has probably my favorite list of hobbies of any of the players on this field today.
Playing electric bass in my band, the Rippin' Gorillas.
Yes.
Gorillas spelled with a Z.
Of course.
It's
as
a
rock
fitting.
band.
Oh my gosh,
no.
that's a foul ball.
Oh no.
I mean, listen, however you get your strikes, you go out and you get them.
If that play is from now on going to be referred to as a ripping gorilla. If you try and duck out of the way of a pitch and it hits your bat, that is a ripping gorilla as he goes down on strikes.
Yeah, the rips didn't quite hit the chords there.
Oh, no.
For the first out of the inning.
And now Jonah Wachterman, whose hobbies when not playing in baseball involves watching the Red Sox. Well, maybe not this year.
But also playing piano, playing basketball, and playing video games.
And we talk about the lank.
And
he has got the lank down.
We talked about during the home run derby how some guys list that they're musicians, but they don't list their instrument. Wachterman was very helpful, and he listed his instrument. Man plays piano.
There was a time in my life where I had the stature and body type of Jonah Wachterman, but not anymore as he swings through the high fastball down in the count. And is so far so good for Ko Higashihara, throwing strikes and trying to limit this potent attack from the AL that we saw in the first inning. Nubbed right back to him and played on a line by the pitcher. Beautiful fielding of his position, 2 out.
Good job by Higashihara, jamming him inside for an easy gimme catch there.
As we turn things over to our home run derby champion, Jaden Lau, the only player in our home run derby to hit one over the fence, and it got to the final out for him to do it. Takes a pitch in the dirt, out for the first pitch for a ball.
And can I just say, I've loved the pronunciation guides we've got on these. Jaden Lau, his pronunciation guide says loud, but with no D for his last name. He's not wrong.
That's true. As he ducks out of the way, but does not have a flying gorilla. What was it? Screaming gorilla.
Ripping
gorilla. Already forgotten my terminology.
Yeah, you got to have your verbs down, Mason.
It's an adverb. Adjective?
I guess that is an adverb.
Ripping gorilla would be an adjective.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right.
I am not in school anymore.
But rip is generally a verb. We're having English class here for some reason.
You get the two of us together, you never know what you're going to have. As that is played nicely over at short by New on to Savage, and a 1-2-3 inning for Ko Higashihara of the Giants as the American League goes down in order. And we head to the third here on a beautiful Monday afternoon in Brookline. It's the AL3 and the NL nothing. Moving right along in this 27th annual Nathan Pups Showstack BYB Major A All-Star game as Asheen Dean takes over on the mound, trying to continue the strong start by the American League. They lead it 3-0, courtesy of a 4-double bottom of the first. It started with Thorne, then Regan, and now Dean trying to tame the National League as we get to the bottom of their order. Surnamer, Loken, and Ortega before Tyler New resets the lineup card. This one hit. That one should stay in the ballpark. Dean can't make the play. It is a foul ball, but almost made a highlight reel grab as Meyer Surnamer.
12-year-old with 2 years in the majors and 2 all-star appearances. Dean, though, he's made a catch at his different position every inning so far. Almost got his 3rd straight inning with a catch that time.
Surnamer loves activities that require patience. Baseball is one of them, but golf, chess, Minecraft, and hanging out with his dog Vinny, all of them just sound like very relaxing times. Swings and misses.
Well, it depends on the dog.
That's true.
And it depends on the server in Minecraft.
But right now, the National League having some trouble. They have struck out 3 straight times swinging. McPherson, Vo, now Surnamer as Soren Loken tries to get something started. In both innings, the National League has gotten at least 1 runner in scoring position, but nobody across as of yet.
And Soren Loken, a guy who likes a game where you get a stick to hit something with, as when he's not playing baseball, he likes to play hockey.
Loves to hit line drives. I would imagine that involves slap shots as well. As he hits this one into the air, should be playable. Who's going to call it off? It is the second baseman who makes the play. Not sure if anyone called it, but eventually it was Jonah Wachterman who made the play, as it's Dean dealing to Carnegie. Vitullo, Lau, Thorne around the outfield with Park, Ziegler, Wachterman who made that last play at second base, and Ciaran Regan over at first for the AL in this top of the third. And it's 2 up, 2 down, and now 6 straight retired.
Yeah, and that's well,
5 straight.
4
retired.
straight.
4 straight. Yep.
We got there.
I swear I can count.
Yeah, but good teachable moment for any of you youngsters out there. Generally, when you get a play like that, the outfield has the leverage to call off an infielder and call for it themselves. Since they're going forward while the infielder's going backwards, the outfielder has the more full view and an easier path to get to the ball. Worked out for Wachterman there, but still, teachable moment.
And always tough, as swinging through strike 2 is Rafa Ortega. It's always so tough in these all-star games. You don't have your teammate necessarily behind you, so you had an Oriole coming in who would be responsible for calling off the athletic, and that doesn't always happen. Might be a little bit different when you got your own teammate who you'd be able to read in that situation.
True. Ortega, meanwhile, a 12-year-old, 2 years in the majors, one all-star appearance. His favorite highlight of the season, pitching lights out for 2 innings against the Red Sox, and also scoring 4 hits, 4 runs, and 3 steals in 1 game. But that time down on strikes.
The American League has gone through 3 scoreless innings. They have faced all 12 National League batters and have not surrendered a single tally against them. As we head to the bottom of the third, gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit more about Holden Hodgson. You saw him earlier in the broadcast announcing the Sportsmanship Award. Majors commissioner, his 11th year of involvement here with Brookline Youth Baseball, former BYB president, VP of Challenger League, and has been a coach in this league for a decade as well. Just a huge champion of youth baseball here in Brookline, and always just such a pleasure to be around. No, we would have liked to see a couple more home runs in the home run derby, but still couldn't ask for a better day for championing BYB and this Major A All-Star game for Alden.
Yeah, absolutely. And I liked the idea he had of trying to give everyone like an extra round to see if they could get a second guy. Didn't work out, but still good thinking on his feet.
Gave everybody 3 additional swings to try and match Jaden Lau, who hit a home run, the only home run we saw at his final out of his at-bat, but was able to get it done. Also have to highlight the additional members of Brookline Youth Baseball's administration. Coaches, yes, but also administrative champions of the league and have to do all the busy work behind the scenes. That's Adam Doctoroff and John Miller. John Miller, BYB president. Adam Doctoroff, treasurer of Brookline Youth Baseball. Somebody's got to manage the purse strings, and you got to be creative whenever you're managing a budget for a youth baseball league. There's not a lot of that money, so you got to make sure that it's all going to the kids and putting together the best experience. And
yeah, you ask anybody who works in youth sports in any capacity, the money is one of the biggest challenges when you're not doing like the AAU, the travel clubs, anything like that, where they get a lot of money pouring in. When it's more casual feel, more relatively casual feel like this league, you're competing with a lot of different interests in a modern world.
As that one hit off the end of the bat, almost a tremendous diving play, but unable to wrap it in was Mason Savage of the Cubs. And it is a leadoff single for Alex Vitullo of the Red Sox.
Nice piece of hitting from Vitullo, just barreled that up perfectly, sent it straight away center. Good hit from the 11th-year-old.
His highlight of the season was a diving catch he made, almost got robbed by a diving catch out in center. As it's Jaffe of the Cubs in left, Savage of the Cubs in center, and Soren Loken in right, as this one fouled straight back by final player in this lineup for the American League, Junsu Park. Dawson Ziegler will hit next, and we get our first player multiple times at the dish. Park takes a strike and takes strike 3 as he is down looking. Second backwards K thrown up there by National League pitching. Speaking of pitching, it's Nano McCosco of the Mets who gets this bottom of the third, pitching to Myers Surnamer of the Mets as well, with Miles Vo, Haruya Miyazawa on the left side. Both Giants in this infield, Rafael Ortega and Evan Shapiro of the Cubs on the right, as that one is bobbled and it will lead to a base runner. Flying down the line was Ziegler, as the top of this AL order, dangerous to say the least. 4 of the first 5 hitters reached with doubles in the first inning, and that has accounted for all the scoring so far, and now danger afoot as it's 2 on, 1 out for Asheen Dian.
Yeah, and that was actually one of those rare cases where I would score a reach on error for Ziegler there. That one just a little too much.
Dian lines this one to left, played on a couple of steps by Jaffe.
Classic case of good contact, bad placement.
Yeah, and this is a huge at-bat. You wouldn't know it based on the fact that Barney is the walk-up song, but this is actually a huge at-bat early in this game for Peter Thorne with a 3-0 lead, 2 on, 2 out. And he swings at the first pitch, and this is trouble. Gets to the wall, going the opposite way is Thorne. 1 run will score. Holding up at third is Ziegler. But for the second time, Peter Thorne gives it a ride, but this time he gets rewarded with a double, and now all 5 of the first 5 hitters of this AL roster have a double.
Mason, how dare you question the power of Barney the dinosaur? That's what you get right there. A beautiful rip out to right center from Peter Thorne that time.
Huge cut at it by Regan as the American League leads it 4-0. Mentioned it earlier, though. Don't count the National League out. We have seen big leads early in these All-Star games disappear in the later innings.
Yeah, Regan is chasing some high ones here. Maybe got a little overexcited after the big hit from Thorne, as he's gotten a big hit himself. Got an RBI double his last time up. Still chasing it upstairs. Way too high upstairs.
So he chases the high cheese, and Regan is down swinging. But the American League does add an additional tally. Peter Thorne's RBI double scores Alexander Vitullo, and it's 4-0 AL after 3 here from Brookline Youth Baseball's Major A All-Star game from Elliott Ball Field. The National League in need of some runs as they trail it 4-0. They do have the top of their order coming to the plate as we are halfway through this Brookline Youth Baseball Major A All-Star game, the 27th edition, on this Monday afternoon in a picture-perfect Brookline sky. And New, not too pleased, walked up to some Biggie Smalls, and now takes strike 1.
And walking is just what he did his last at-bat. Led off the game with a walk back in the top of the first. And as we cycle around to the top of the order, we see some of the familiar names on the back of the jerseys coming through, Mason. The major sponsors of these teams coming in. And for the Cubs that Tyler New plays for, their sponsor, Goldfish Swim School.
This one sneaks through the left-hand side, handcuffs the third baseman, Tom Rothschild, and then it gets away, and a very aggressive Tyler New swipes the second base bag. A routine ground ball to the left-hand side handcuffs the third baseman, and as they play tag with it, New steals an extra 60 feet out of it. That's what you need if you're the National League. Get a little creative on the base paths.
Yeah, he's paying closer attention than I am, Mason. I was looking down at my score sheet, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, where'd he go?
So for the third time in 4 innings, the National League has a runner in scoring position, and now they will get him up to third as this one tips out of the glove of Alex Vitullo, who scored that 4th run in the top of the bottom of the last inning, I should say. Umpire not ready.
Yep. Nano McCosco of the Mets back at the plate. He popped out to the catcher his last time up. His Mets are sponsored by Wellis Wood Floors.
Jaden Lau doing the pitching, dealing to Vitullo with John Martin, Naveed Sarabi, and Ernest Kanegi in the outfield. Tom Rothschild saw him try and make that play on the leadoff single turned double through the errors as he's down the hot corner. Jonah Wachterman at short, Jun-Soo Park at second, and Dawson Ziegler over at first. That one should score a run as that one gets through. Good old-fashioned baseball. Back up the middle goes Nano McCosco, and now the National League is in business. They're on the board.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Mason. Just classic, fundamental, old-school baseball. A bouncer up the middle, classic RBI hit.
And it's 4-1 in the blink. Do not count the National League
we got a
out
shot in the head.
as Haruya Miyazawa takes a plunk. Says, I'm all right, I'm all right. Wears it like Barry Bonds and heads down to first.
Yes.
Not a lot of players on the current Giants roster. I know there are some Red Sox fans who might be a little bit disappointed to lose Rafi Devers, although he hasn't had a great year.
Yeah, I was about to say,
San
like,
Fran. Better year than anyone on the Red Sox has had offensively. And swinging and missing is Savage. You take the base runner however you can get it, though. So runners on first and second. And just like that, the tying runs at the plate.
Yeah. Miyazawa, tough as nails, taking that hit to the batting helmet as this one's in play. Fielded at second, thrown to first. Simple sacrifice play to move 2 runners into scoring position.
Well done by Savage, and now he's looking for his Cub teammate Gabriel Jaffe. One swing, and if this gets to the outfield, it's very likely a 4-3 ball game.
Yeah.
This game changes quickly.
Even a flyout could potentially make it a 2-run ball game with just 1 out in the inning.
Started with Tyler New hitting one through the left-hand side, got up to second base on the play. Then a single by McCosco. Hit by pitch to Miyazawa. Savage moving the runners along, and now Jaffe with Shapiro on deck trying to give the National League plenty of life. Still only in the top of the 4th.
And shout out to the sponsor of Miyazawa's Giants, Twin Peaks Construction, as we shout out the local businesses helping to support and make all this possible.
It's something that growing up, I still remember my sponsors. We had the Major League Baseball team on the front of the jersey, but I still remember who my sponsor was. And then I remember you got up to the Little League level, the true Little League level in Connecticut. You didn't have a Major League Baseball team on the front of the jersey. You just had the sponsor. So I remember playing for United Paint my first year, and then the Lions Club my second year of Major Little League. And it's a huge responsibility and a huge honor for those small businesses to sponsor and support these Major League teams, as that will get a job done. Jaffe beaten to the bag at first, but gets the RBI as that scores McCosco, and it's 4-2.
Yeah, and that's the benefit when you got runners in scoring position with minimal outs. Get bat on ball, and you can still score a run even if you don't make it to base yourself.
So 2 in, 2 down, still a runner at third base in the form of Haruya Miyazawa. And the third of the 3 Cubs in a row, Evan Shapiro, trying to continue this rally.
Yeah, between New, Savage, Jaffe, and now Shapiro, a lot of Cubs representation at the top of the order for the National League.
So the AL getting big bombs to score their big inning in the bottom of the first, 4 doubles. The National League doing its small ball. Nothing has really been hard hit. Nothing's hit the outfield on a fly. It's been 2 ground balls that have found their way through a hit by pitch. And then some small ball to advance base runners and an RBI ground out as this one bounces away, and it will score another run.
Wow, that was aggressive base running from Haruya Miyazawa as he was jumping even before that bounced fully away from the catcher. He was making a jump, he was thinking score, and it worked out in his favor in a big way.
That was an impossible play. Vitullo did an amazing job just to take that one off the mask and keep that within distance, but it wasn't going to do the job. All the way across the diamond, and with the stretch, not enough. Freddie Freeman might make that play, but tough for young Dawson Ziegler.
Yeah, that
extends the inning.
That was a tough reach, and it was a tough long throw. You could see the third baseman had to really wind up to make that throw, and I'd give an infield single to Shapiro on that play. That was a tough play for the infield to try and make.
Runner takes off, down to second, and the tag is just late. So another runner in scoring position as the National League has rattled off 3 runs playing small ball. Wild pitches, ground balls through the infield. Ground balls turn sacrifices. Nothing fancy about this, but this could tie the game. One hops to the center fielder. They hold the runner as that is a gorgeous throw from center field by Sarabi. And a smart play to stay at third because Shapiro would have been dead to rights.
Yeah, no,
Good
that
play,
was
though,
beautiful.
to advance as well by Higashihara as he was aware that that throw was coming home, and he took second on the play. So he advances on the throw, and now a single could take the lead for the NL.
Yeah, we got our first real tight situation here, Mason. And after that first inning, with how in control the American League looked, you couldn't have imagined things going this way, but that's just how baseball is there's no time limit. You can go on a run anytime you want, and all you got to do is just knock it out, and you can keep doing it. You can keep scoring.
So from 4-0 to 4-3 in a blink. It has been tough sledding in this top of the fourth. Hasn't been hit hard, but the game of baseball isn't always forgiving, and it's just been enough soft contact in the right places where the National League has worked their way right back into the game. Down by 1, but the lead run stands on second base now.
Ooh,
in
that's
the dirt,
tough.
and this should tie the game. The toss, the slide, he is safe.
Dropped it out of the glove.
Hold on to the baseball. Shapiro scampers home. A wild pitch ties this game as Higashihara is now at third.
Yeah, that was actually a really good play at the plate from the American League, but the problem was that Lau just couldn't hold on to that ball after receiving the throw from Alex Vitullo.
Yep. So Jaden Lau having a tough go, and now I think he's checking on him because he got the slide of the spikes into the hands as he got that ball, which was nicely funneled to him by Vitullo.
Yeah, that was perfectly placed right at the glove, right at the sliding foot of the base runner. He holds on to that ball. The runner's out, and the inning's over. But it's a game of inches.
Vitullo has had to do a lot of work behind the plate in this inning. He's tried to block everything he can, but there have been some spikes in there, literally and figuratively. And the National League, as we expected, has come right back and made this a tie game. Every single BYB All-Star game seems to come down to the 6th inning or beyond, no matter what the score is early. Just wait. This is the beauty of Little League, too, as that is spoiled away by McPherson.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get. Baseball's just beautiful like that, and like we said, they make such good, tight competition here at Brookline Youth Baseball.
You want that when you make the teams, as another one gets away, another slide, another run, and the National League has the lead. 5 runs in the inning, and not a single fly ball outside of just one that hopped out towards center, but nothing really well hit.
Yeah, no screaming missiles or anything like that, but also give a lot of credit to the National League for some good, aggressive base running. 3 runs have scored on wild pitches as Lau is coming off holding his wrist. He's had to field a couple of plays at the plate with base runners coming in might be a little shaken up.
This is an inning, Jesse, that started with aggressive base running. Tyler New handcuffs over to third base, but if he's not hustling hard, he could just stay at first base, but no, he gets to second, and it sets the whole inning in motion. He gets to second. Nano McCosco hits a single. Then Miyazawa gets plunked in the helmet. All three of those players have ultimately scored in this inning.
Yeah, a pair of groundouts by Savage and Jaffe managed to move along McCosco and
productive
Miyazawa.
groundouts to the right-hand side.
And, you know, to the right and then to the left is the 6-3 groundout by Jaffe is what scored McCosco. And then the wild pitches started piling on. Miyazawa comes home on a wild one. Shapiro and Higashihara both single. Shapiro actually stole second, and so because of that, Higashihara singled to center, drew a throw to the plate, which allowed Higashihara to advance to second with more aggressive base running, and then 2 wild pitches later, and the script has been completely flipped, and the National League is on top.
It's the beauty of this league. It's the beauty of this game. And Jaden Lau, you hope he's okay. I imagine he is. It's probably more frustration than anything, but certainly you take 2 slides in toward the hands. You do not need late in the season any type of injury to happen in this all-star game. Jaden Lau, part of the currently league-leading Orioles, 9 wins on the season so far for the Orioles. They absolutely are front runners to take another league crown. One of the founding organizations in this league, have been around and have been led by the Showstack family since its inception. Pups, and now obviously Arlen, who's perched high to our right, running things for ASPNHD as always. Would be coaching the American League, but takes the coaching duties off on these all-star games so he can produce and direct and order us around.
And doing a good job showcasing the warm-up pitches of this new relief pitcher, John Martin of the A's, taking over.
Yeah, John Martin, who he's just trying to get this final out, and then we'll expect to pitch the 5th as well, with Naveed Sarabi scheduled to pitch the 6th inning.
And this is one of those rare cases where a pitcher is changing in the middle of an at-bat, because McPherson's still at the plate.
Yep. Takes a walk.
Yeah.
And more small ball for the National League in this inning. It could not be any more different from how the AL had their big inning with all the doubles. We haven't had any true doubles in this inning. It's just been aggressive base running and timely hitting.
Absolutely, and even the extra run that the AL scored in the bottom of the 3rd was also off a double.
The NL had 3 innings to get through their full 12-man rotation. This is the 9th batter of the inning, and it's Miles Vo of the Giants who struck out swinging to end the 2nd. And that one sails away. More difficulty. Got a feel for Vatula. There's nothing he could do on that one. To be fair, there were major league catchers who wouldn't have that one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And again, we talked earlier in the broadcast about how it sometimes takes time for pitchers to find their control at this level. And in an all-star game, you've got no time to do it. You're pitching like 1 inning, and then you're done for the day. So if your stuff's not with you for that inning, you don't really have a chance to bounce back the next frame. That's just what you do on the mound.
And it's not as if there are true starters and relievers necessarily, but this is an all-star game, so most of these pitchers are used to starting. If you had to say they would be starters or relievers, they'd be starters more often than not. They're coming in odd situations. But credit to Martin. He induces the pop-out just in foul territory as Vo is out for the final out of the 4th inning. But what a run put together by the National League in the top of the 4th. They score 5 times, and they take a 5-4 lead. And now it's the American League who's going to be asked to respond in the bottom of the inning.
And Martin, after taking over, he'll be among the guys trying to make something happen in the bottom half. Kanegi, Martin, and Sarabi do up.
A lot of things can happen in these short 6-inning games. And now it's the National League that has the energy and the pop as they return to the field. A long break before they had to go back out and play some defense. Miles Vo, who just popped out to end that inning, will be on the mound. A little bit of a height differential between him and his catcher, Surnamer.
Yeah, it's so interesting because in baseball we so often associate good pitchers with height. You know, guys like Randy Johnson who could tower over anybody. But then you do also, very famously here in Boston, you have guys a bit undersized like Pedro Martinez, who was under 6 feet tall and could still absolutely deal. So conventional wisdom might say you want height, but some players don't fit into convention and still manage to make it happen.
Up not liking the Red Sox and not liking Pedro Martinez, little me thought Pedro Martinez was about 6'7". I knew he wasn't Randy Johnson, but the name and the presence almost imposed the stature that he didn't have.
Oh yeah. As someone who did root for the Red Sox, trust me, it was the same on the other side of that.
Of course, you had guys like Clemens and Pettit who did have the stature.
Yes. But yeah, 5'11" Martinez was.
But Miles Vo will take over on the mound. Second giant, along with Ko Higashihara, who have pitched in this game so far. Mentioned Meyer Surnamer's behind the plate. Second straight inning for Surnamer as the National League electing to go with 3 catchers across the 6 innings. Miyazawa, Surnamer, and then we'll have Evan Shapiro behind the plate for the final 2 frames of regulation. Rafael Ortega, Ko Higashihara, and Alex McPherson in the outfield with Savage, New, Loken, and Shapiro in the infield for this bottom of the 4th. And after the American League led it 4-0 and felt pretty good, now they find themselves behind, and as Jesse mentioned, it's Kanegi, Martin, and Sarabi. The 3 due up for the AL. So first, it's the lefty, Ernest Kanegi. Hit the 4th of the 4 doubles in the first inning.
And Kanegi's Red Sox, sponsored by Extra Innings of Watertown. We got to see one of the representatives of that sponsor, Rudy Baez, joining us on the mic during the Home Run Derby. Another one of those great local businesses that helps support what they do here in Brookline Youth Baseball, give these kids a chance to have some fun.
Kanegi rips another one, and this one could be really dangerous. It gets through to the center field wall. Kanegi's gonna hold, no he's not! There he goes to third, and he's out. Kanegi getting uber aggressive. Never hesitated as he rounded second. Higashihara overran the ball. It got all the way to the wall, but Kanegi never stopped. And he does, in an all-star game, commit one of the Cardinal sins, gets the first out at third.
Yeah, you remember Kanegi, that double he had last time. He was kind of overstretching that one a bit to second as they had him dead to rights at second his last time up, but he slid hard and the ball was dropped on the tag. This time, fielder held on.
Savage able to apply the tag. Kanegi tried to get underneath it. As the tag, you want to make sure that that glove is right to the foot so you can't slide under it. As the check swing cannot hold up for John Morton.
Martin, his last time up, he popped out to short. And that's the thing, Mason, when you got batting orders this long, you don't get that many chances at the plate in a 6-inning game.
Pretty much guaranteed 2, but that's about it. After that, it's not a foregone conclusion that the American League sees their big hitters. Not that everyone in this All-Star game isn't a big hitter, that's why you're here.
Yeah, and heck, you're not even necessarily 100% guaranteed to. I mean, in a game like this, high scoring as it is, you are, but not necessarily.
Martin tried to sell it, ducked out of the way, but it's called strike 3 by the home plate umpire, and it's not characteristically, but it is 2 up, 2 down. For Miles Vo and the National League. This is textbook baseball. You get a big inning from your offense. Can you send the other offense down quickly? Vo has done it so far. Sarabi tries to extend this inning and put a little two-out rally in play for the AL. Rothschild on deck.
Yeah, the odd numbers innings have been the magic for the American League so far. They scored 3 in the first, 1 in the third, went down in order in the second, and now they're on the cusp of going down in order here in the fourth.
Vo with that big smile on his face. Not sure that
I thought that
like
it hit him, but I guess not. And if it hadn't hit him, you would have thought it hit his bat, but I guess not.
Must have clipped the glove of Surnamer behind the plate, and it certainly sounded. You can see down the line, you have the assistant coach of the Orioles. That's Naveed Sarabi saying, "Hey, son, did that hit you?"
And of course, the Orioles, sponsored by a well-known local establishment, Pino's Pizza. Well known in that on that Beacon Street area over by Cleveland Circle.
Naveed, third base coach and father of his son Naveed, loves tennis and traveling. That one nubbed. That's going to be a difficult play. Vo over to first, well turned by the pitcher. And it turns into a 1-2-3 inning after Carnegie was nailed at third, trying to extend the double to a triple. Martin down on strikes, and Sarabi retired on the nice play by Vo. 4 innings in the books, 2 more of regulation still to play here from Elliott Ballfield in Brookline. And it's the National League rallying from a 4-0 deficit, who lead it 5-4 as we head to the 5th. A big inning for the National League coming up, leading it 5-4 as we head to the top of the 5th in this 27th annual Nathan Pups Showstack BYB Major A All-Star Game. NL fell behind 4-0 early, 3 runs in the bottom of the first for the AL, tacked on 1 in the third, but a 5-run small ball inning in the top of the 4th for the National League have them on top. Mason Stauff alongside Jesse Mayfield Ciaran. ASPNHD on this beautiful Monday.
And we got John Martin of the A's back on the mound after he came on in relief late in that 4th inning rally. And mentioned all the other sponsors. The sponsor of Martin's athletics team is Auto Pizza, Auto OTTO in all caps.
I would kill for some pizza right now, Jesse. I can't even tell you. Should have had Pino's and Otto bring us each a pizza, and we dueling pizzas.
Hey, as long as they got a dairy-free option. Unfortunately, as I've gotten older, my stomach has gotten less agreeable with certain foods.
And now as a dad, is it bad that I'm really intrigued by wood flooring? Is that bad?
Well, Mason, if you're intrigued by wood flooring, perhaps you should check out Wellis Wood Floors, the sponsor of the Mets. Just a thought.
You know, sometimes we don't have to be subtle. As this one grounded, nice play at third, on to second for 1. There is no relay, on to first. But what a play. Almost got handcuffed, but well done by Naveed Sarabi to make that stab. Relay on to second, at least to get the lead runner, and keep that to just a runner on first as Surnamer is retired and Loken does reach on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, that one, you know, there's a reason they call it the hot corner. It's because you take weird bounces like that, but a great reaction by Sarabi, stabbing at it with his glove so that he can make the play to get the lead runner.
Huge inning for the American League, pitching defensively, try and keep this a 1-run game. Jesse, I would be very surprised if 5-4 is the final of this game. there's always late inning fireworks in these all-star games. There's definitely more runs in this one. So if the AL can put up a 0 for this National League, that would be huge with still 6 outs to work with offensively.
Absolutely. As this game goes deeper and deeper, pressure gets put on both teams in a close one like this. It's not just the pressure on the team that's trailing, the team that's leading.
As Ortega grounds this one to short, another play over at second to get the lead runner. This time it's Loken who's retired, and Ortega who reaches on the fielder's choice.
We got a 5-4 and then a 6-4. The AL infielders busy here in the top of the 5th.
That does, though, give Tyler New an opportunity. He's reached both times and grounds this one through the right-hand side. That will just advance Ortega 60 feet. There was a little bit of miscommunication, I think, by the second baseman, Rothschild, as he was moving to his right toward the second base bag, even though he was the one there to make that play.
I actually disagree with that. I think the first baseman was the only one in range, but I think he lost it in sight because of the base runner.
That or the umpire who is
or the first base ump. That was very close.
And that one is such an unfortunate play. They're raving the runner home. What a throw and tag. He's out. The play of the day defensively made by Ciaran Regan as he fires home to Peter Thorne at the plate, who applies the tag to get Ortega's hustle.
Wow. I was getting ready to talk about, like you said, what an unfortunate trajectory that grounder from McCosco took to get it past Sarabi, as it just died on the dirt and slowly rolled past him. But then how about Ciaran Regan with the cannon arm from left field to save a run and keep it a 1-score game and end the inning to boot.
So Ciaran Regan keeps this a 5-4 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Lots of fielders' choices in that inning, and it ends with a beautiful outfield assist.
Yeah, you want to know something interesting, Mason, about that inning? 3 outs made. Not a single one of them was the batter. 2 fielders' choices and a throw out at home. So 3 fielders' choices in a way.
Certainly happens sometimes. We won't necessarily have a chance to talk about every single coach, but I do want to name them and thank them for all of their hard work for Brookline Youth Baseball. For the Orioles, we mentioned Arlen Showstack, Naveed Sarabi, Sean Ebanks as well. For the Red Sox, Adam Rothschild, Peter Kanegi, and for the Athletics, Ben Summers, Adam Martin. Over for the National League, Aaron Jaffe, Nelson Fernandez of the Cubs, Eric Surnamer of the Mets alongside Evan Guggenheim. And for the Giants, Adam Doktoroff, we mentioned the treasurer of Brookline Youth Baseball, along with John Miller, the BYB president as well. So for these 6 teams of Brookline Youth Baseball, a lot of dynasty families who have been here and have been through and seen older children, now younger children, and generations, obviously, in the cases of some of these teams who have played, especially with teams like the Orioles under the Showstacks, for fathers, now sons. It's just a tremendous lineage that BYB puts out every single year. So thanks to the coaches, as without them, there is no BYB, that's for sure. I had the pleasure of being led by my dad when I was a little leaguer, and I'm gonna, even though he's not tuning in, apologize to him for being probably a little terror. Not probably, for being a little terror when I was a little leaguer.
Well, not just probably, but definitively, huh, Mason?
I'm a little terror now. What are you talking? I'm big terror now. And now I have a little terror. That's even more worrisome.
Well, if there's any karmic justice in the world, Mason, your own little boy will grow up to terrorize you just as you once terrorized your father.
Growing up, he's terrorizing me now. And he's 1. Happy birthday to Jamie. As Rothschild, Wachterman, and Lau, the 3 up for the American League, trailing by 1, facing Alex McPherson of the Mets. Swinging and missing. is Rothschild, down on strikes his first time.
And down on strikes again.
Yep.
And now it's Wachterman who got jammed and popped out to the pitcher his last time up.
Swings and misses through the first pitch.
And Mason, you were talking about all the different, coaches and administrators that have been around for so long, but I'll tell you, nobody beats the Showstack family in that aspect. Arlen Showstack just last year was celebrated by the league for his 50th year working in Brookline youth baseball. I can't even conceptualize that as someone who's barely been alive over half that time.
You'd think he would graduate to bigger and better. Nah, he'll be around for hopefully decades longer. And obviously, Pups Showstack, his father, the namesake for this BYB All-Star game, now in its 27th iteration. We're talking started in 2000.
And Mason, you didn't see, but Arlen, while operating the camera, when you said maybe he'd move on, he pointed straight down to the ground as if to say, "This is my spot."
The Orioles are his team. This is his one true love. That and being behind the camera and producing and directing these tremendous productions.
Back-to-back strikeouts from Alex McPherson of the Mets to start this bottom of the fifth inning. And now Jaden Lau, the last hope of this frame for the American League.
And if you include the fact that Kanegi hit the double but was retired trying to stretch it from second to third, that's now 6 in a row retired, dating back to the strikeout of Regan to end the third. Then an atypical 1-2-3 inning in the fourth, but now back-to-back strikeouts in the fifth. And just like that, the American League only has 4 outs to play with, trailing by 1, having led this game 4-0. As we quickly take a look at this National League defense behind McPherson, who's dealing to Shapiro. Vo, New, McCosco in the outfield in the fifth. Jaffe, Miyazawa, Surnamer, and Higashihara on the infield. The pitch is up.
Yeah, McPherson, the last couple pitches aside, he's been dealing strikes so well. He seems well under control here in this fifth inning.
And outside of the first inning where the National League was giving up that heavy hitting, and it wasn't for the lack of throwing strikes from Tyler New. The AL was just dealing with them well.
It's almost because of all the strikes he was throwing.
The National League has settled things down behind Higashihara in the second, McCosco, who gave up just the 1 run in the third, Vo in the fourth, and now McPherson delivers a 1-2-3 fifth.
And strikes out the side to boot.
4 strikeouts in the last 2 innings and 6 in the last 3 for National League pitching. As just like that, we are on to the 6th. And as always, we've got a ball game for you here from Brookline. It's the National League 5 and the American League 4 as we turn for home. To the top of the 6th. And it's up to Naveed Sarabi to try and keep this a 1-run game and give the American League an opportunity in the bottom of the 6th to have some walk-off heroics. Sarabi will be dealing with 3 through 5 of this National League order. Miyazawa, Savage, and Jaffe
and
due
it will
up
be
for
in
the NL.
And it'll be an all Orioles battery trying to battle this one, with Sarabi pitching to Ciaran Regan, the hero defensively of last inning, after robbing the National League of a run with a beautiful throw from left field.
It was a ball that just died as it hit the third base line. Just bounced, hit the edge of the grass and the dirt, and there was absolutely nothing that Sarabi could do about it. But in came Regan and absolutely threw a missile to get the hustling Rafael Ortega, who had nothing he could do. He made the right decision trying to come home on that play. Anything less than a perfect throw, and he scores to give the National League an insurance run. But credit to the defense of Ciaran Regan and a nice tag of Peter Thorne behind the plate. Now it's Regan who's behind the plate. Thorne is over at shortstop with Dawson Ziegler, Alex Vitullo, and Junsu Park left to right around the outfield in this 6th and final inning of regulation. Kanegi, Thorne, Dean, and Wachterman around the infield with Sarabi pitching to Regan. If we do have extra innings, should the American League rally in the bottom of the inning, we would play Major League extra inning rules for the regular season. So we'd have a ghost runner on second base, and we would just play baseball from there, just like we would in the regular season in the major leagues.
Well, except they won't call any games due to darkness in the major leagues. They might here.
It's been a quick-moving game. I'll knock on whatever piece of wood I can find as the sun continues to set behind us.
And as that ball knocks off the face mask of Regan, but he's shaking it off and looks okay.
Thankless job, the catcher. As this could be difficult, but well read. Quickly sprinting in. Made it look easy, Junsu Park, but if he doesn't get a good read on that, that could easily fall in front of him.
Yep, Miyazawa came to the plate 0 for 1 with a ground out, a hit by pitch, and a run scored, but now 0 for 2 through 3 plate appearances. Now
everyone guaranteed to hit at least twice between the two sides as the National League going through its batting order for the third time. Savage and Jaffe. Shapiro would love to get a third plate appearance.
Savage also 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out. Now we're starting to get real batting lines for all these kids as we get to the third turn through the order.
Everybody's done something productive for this National League team, as that one is read well once again, this time by Vitullo. The only player that hasn't had a productive plate appearance offensively is Miles Vo, but he had a really good inning pitching-wise. The first of those two back-to-back 1-2-3 innings by National League pitching after they were able to take the lead. Vo was able to shut down the American League offense, and they were aided by the nice play to get Kanegi trying to hustle from second to third.
Yeah, like you said, just about everybody's had a productive day. Even Gabe Jaffe, 0 for 2 at the plate so far with a strikeout and a ground out, but that ground out was of the RBI variety.
Yeah, you do what you need to do. A 5-run inning, the National League has only scored in 1 inning, and that was the 4th, and they really didn't get anything hard hit out of that, but they got some fortuitous rolls through the infield. 1 ball that was able to reach the outfield on a fly, but it wasn't necessarily well hit. And then wild pitches helped their cause immensely as that one rolls all the way out nearly to the center field wall. Scampering over to make the play was Vitullo, but then he threw it away, and that will allow the runner, Jaffe, to advance from first to second on the E8.
Yeah, it was definitely a threat for the potential of extra bases with how aggressively everybody's been running today. But Vitullo got a little too rushed as Jaffe was heading back and could have held him to a single if the throw was just on the mark.
So we'll see if the National League can make that mistake pay as Shapiro, single and a run scored, also lined out to the shortstop. Skies this one out toward the right-hand side, and it was gloved by a player, but not a player involved in the game.
It's not banana ball. That doesn't count.
You know, I can't say, even though it looks intriguing, I can't bring myself to watch a full banana ball game. I've watched the clips, and I think that's kind of how you're supposed to consume it anyway, is in short spurts. I can't say I've sat down and watched multiple hours of banana ball in consecutive time, as that one got a ridiculously fortuitous bounce back to the catcher, Regan, and that somehow keeps Jaffe on second. That one whipped back off the fence. The chain link fences is supposed to give you bounces that hard. As called strike, a perplexed look on the face of Shapiro as he is down for strike 3.
Boy, you know, Mason, you said a couple innings back that you'd be surprised if 5
I still would be.
Ended up being the final, but we're a half inning away from that reality.
And
you never know when pitchers are going to lock in.
No, but it's up to a fellow Mason, Mason Savage, to try and close this out for the National League. All the damage being done across just 3 half innings. The AL getting all their runs in the bottom of the first and the bottom of the third with that fourth run, and all the National League runs coming in the top of the fourth. So it's Mason Savage, as the entire battery and left side of this infield will be Cubs. Savage throwing to Shapiro with Jaffe and New on the left-hand side of this infield. McCosco and Higashihara on the right-hand side of the infield. Loken, Miyazawa, and Ortega of the Mets in the outfield. And for the American League, they have got to see if they can do it with 11, 12, and 1 in their order. Vitullo, Park, and Ziegler guaranteed. Could it be a Sheen Dean, who has played the hero before in his Little League career? He is due up fourth, and if he gets a chance, he will very likely have the chance to be hero again.
Man, that would be crazy. The guy who hit the walk-off game winner in the town championship last year, to have a chance to walk it off in the All-Star game, that'd be absolutely nuts.
Of course, the National League would love if it didn't even get to that. But for the AL, what can Vitullo, Park, and Ziegler do first? There is no margin for error as the National League unable to put across any insurance runs, largely thanks to that tremendous play by Regan in the top of the fifth to prevent an insurance run. As the sun continues to set, it's still peeking over the trees behind us, but this game has been timed to perfection so far. The AL trying to end it with heroics. The NL trying to slam the door with Mason Savage on the bump. Vitullo with a single and a run scored in his only plate appearance so far.
Yeah, we're still finishing the second turn through the order for the AL. As the NL, even when they weren't scoring, they were threatening a lot.
This one is playable on the infield. One out as New makes the grab. It really looked, after the AL sent 7 up to the plate in the bottom of the first, like they were going to have a lot of rallies in them. But the NL calmed things down, starting with Higashihara, then McCosco, Vo, McPherson, and now Savage. And just 2 outs for the AL left to work with. As that one out for ball 1. Jun-Soo Park struck out looking in the third. The top of the AL order has been very dangerous, though. Ziegler's been on twice. Dean's been on once. Thorne's been on once. Regan's been on once, and Kanegi twice. This one ripped foul, and Arlen didn't flinch, let it be known, on his perch.
He's professional out there. This isn't his first rodeo.
That or it's been 50 years and he can't move fast enough to get out of the way.
Oh, wow. Okay, Mason.
Just staying alive is Park.
Mason, I'd like to see how fast you could unpack and repack all of the equipment that Arlen works with.
Oh, are you kidding me? I'd be here tomorrow. He'd come back and I'd be still packing. Good eye from Park. Our base runner is what the AL is looking for, however they can get it. A 4-0 lead erased in just 1.5 innings.
Seen so much good offense and defense throughout this game.
Park, will this one stay in play? No! The umpire saying it's not in play.
Oh my gosh, that's so tough, Mason. And a lot of people didn't realize.
No, I still don't think the NL realizes.
It was gloved by the first baseman, but they have very distinct out-of-play lines to make sure people aren't running into the fans, to make sure they aren't running into anything else dangerous. It crossed over that line. It's the right call.
Gets new life and now faces a full count. This is the drama that we expected. A beautiful play by Higashihara, but he was outside the boundary when he made it. So Park, the 12th man in the batting order, gets a chance. and stays alive. This is a great battle.
This is exactly why we love baseball, Mason. Tight situations like this, the tension having built up slowly over the course of a wild game with so many great plays back and forth, and now here we are.
Savage delivers. Park can't hold up. And a great dig behind the plate as well by Shapiro. And it's 2 down, and the AL is down to their final out.
And Park didn't realize that because that skipped in the dirt, he could have tried to run to first. He surrendered himself by going out of the box and back to the dugout, and the ump just eventually called him out.
So Dawson Ziegler represents the AL's final hope. My prediction that this game would not end 5-4 looks poor. And it may end right here. Popped up. And the play is made by Soren Loken. And the National League comes back from 4-0 down. They retire the final 9 AL hitters between the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. 10 straight going back to the final out of the 3rd. And it's the National League who win this 27th iteration of the BYB Major A All-Star Game 5-4.
Wow, what a game. Absolutely lived up to the hype of these Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Games, of which we've called so many, Mason. Another classic to add to the pile.
Great pitching throughout this game by both teams, really. It ends up, as it always seems to be, a 1-run ball game, but it's not the offense who comes up with the big plays at the end. It's pitching and defense that win the day for these two sides. As we will now take a pause, we have trophy presentations to be distributed by Holden Hodgson. We'll have our final words from Jesse and I, and then we will send you off into the night as the National League wins this one by a final score of 5-4. Much more to come here from the Brookline Youth Baseball All-Star Game here from Elliott Ball Field. As we welcome you back inside Elliott Ball Field here in Brookline, Massachusetts, the BYB All-Star Game for the majors in the books as the National League wins it by a final score of 5-4. We now turn it over to Holden Hodgson for the trophy presentation.
Thanks, Mason. And let me just say, the broadcasters, thank you very much. You've done a great job with this presentation all afternoon. We've been blessed with wonderful weather here in Brookline and a wonderful effort for our All-Star Game. This is the 27th annual Pops Showstack All-Star Game. For those that don't know, it's a tradition that's been going on for years and years and years, and you're now part of it. You guys should all feel proud of yourselves. Let's have a round of applause for our players and our teams and our coaches. Yeah, and our coaches. Great job. Again, to borrow from the broadcast booth, this was an all-encompassing game. We saw a lot of everything, offense and defense, hard-batted balls, good plays in the field. The pitchers were locked in, and the catchers did a hell of a job behind the plate. People got dirty, people played hard. That's what it's all about. So everyone's a sportsman, and everyone did their job today. You guys should be proud as you head into playoffs, and the playoffs begin tomorrow. You have a lot to play for still. This was a great exhibition of the best of what Brookline has on a small diamond. You should be proud of yourselves. With that remark, as Majors Commissioner, I just want to welcome up the coaches to give their players each trophies. Again, with this game going 5-4 in favor of the National League, we will let the American League present their All-Star trophies. Everyone here is an All-Star. You all should be very proud of yourselves. So with that, I'm gonna welcome up the American League coaches to give their players their trophies by name, if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely. Hello, Tom Rothschild.
Let's hear for Tom.
From the Red
Everyone.
Sox. O'Sheen Deegan from the Red Sox. Here you go. Congratulations.
Here we go. Slip there.
Ernie Kanegi from the Red Sox. Congratulations. And last but definitely not least, Alexander Vitullo from the Red Sox. Let's go. Thank you. Nice job.
Alex, you gotta wave at the camera, okay? Next coach.
I will now pass it off to Ben Summers from the A's.
All right, guys.
All right. From the A's, first, we got Jonah Wachterman.
Good job, Joe.
You gotta give me a hug. You gotta give me a hug here. Next up, Peter Thorne.
Congratulations, buddy. Give it the camera,
Peter! Oh yeah, Peter!
Next up, Junsu Park.
Last for the A's, John Martin.
Thank you. And here are the A's All-Stars. Naveed Sarabi. Wave at the camera. Say hi to Mom. Next is Dawson Ziegler.
Hey, Dawson.
Woo! Wait. There you go.
Oh, wow.
And we have Ciaran Regan next. Woo! Last but not least, Jaden Lowe. Good job, buddy. Come on, Jay.
Thank you. Thank you, coaches. Once again, let's hear it for the American League. All right. And now for our 2026 All-Star Game champions, I'd like to have the National League coaches come up and present the trophies to their players, please. Well done. How about the Giants? Okay, well, let's get the Mets. Eric Surnamer is here. Coach Eric Surnamer. Everyone wave at the camera, okay?
Alex McPherson. Way to go, Alex. Way to go. Nano McCosco. Rafael Ortega. And Myers Surnamer.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Here we go, and Coach Doctor up from the Giants.
We've got Haruya Miyazawa. Way to go. Soren Loken. Ko Higashiara. And Miles Vo. There you go.
And last but not least, flying the W flag, we have the Cubbies. All right, Coach Arlen Showstack, well done.
Oh, thanks. I got Mason Savage.
There you go, Mason Savage.
Oh, yeah! Let's go, Mason!
Evan Shapiro.
Oh, yeah!
Tyler New.
Oh, yeah!
Nice job, bud. And Gabriel Jaffe.
How about Gabriel? Once again, what a great event. What a great event we have here. Nice performance from everybody. Everyone should be happy with the result. What a day. I'm going to send it back to Mason here to send us off. Thanks again, ASPN.
Thank you so much, Holden. We will take one more brief pause. When we come back, Jesse and I will return to the field and we will say goodbye after another tremendous BYB Major A All-Star game goes the way of the National League. Our final thoughts next here on ASPNHD. Another tremendous Major A BYB All-Star game is in the books, and it goes the way of the National League by a final score of 5-4. Mason Stout one final time here with Jesse Mayfield Ciaran. Jesse, as always, it was a tremendous game. You heard Holden Hodges say it had a little bit of everything. Any final thoughts from you on this All-Star game?
Well, Mason, I know I made that lame joke at the top of our broadcast saying we've got all the stars here in this All-Star game, but I'll tell you, I don't think there was a single player that didn't contribute in some way, shape, or form in this wonderful game. You know, we had hard hits, the AL building up their 4-0 lead, courtesy of 5 doubles. You had the NL making their comeback through small ball and aggressive base running. We saw clutch plays in the field, clutch throws, clutch catches, clutch pitching, especially from the NL as they locked down for 9 straight outs to close it out through those last 3 innings. I mean, in the world of baseball scouting, they say it's special when a player shows all 5 tools, but when a game shows all 5 tools, Mason, that's big baseball, and I love it.
Well, it was a tremendous amount of fun. The players had fun. Now the league moves on to the playoffs, and we wish the best of luck to all the players, coaches, and families that will be participating in the playoffs over these next couple of weeks. As for this broadcast, though, thank you so much for tuning in. We want to thank Chris Murphy and, of course, Arlen Showstack behind the camera doing all of the hard work to put this BYB Major A All-Star game onto the airwaves on YouTube and beyond. To my broadcast partner, Jesse Mayfield Ciaran, thank you so much as well. to Holden Hodgson and the administration of Brookline Youth Baseball. And again, to the players, the coaches, and most importantly, the families who support Brookline Youth Baseball. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Mason Stauff saying so long from Elliott Ball Field here in Brookline. This has been the 27th annual Nathan Pups Showstack BYB Major A All-Star Game. We'll see you next time.